Welcome to Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. I am your host, Anthony Sykes. Hello everyone. This is Anthony Sykes, and you're on the Rant Radio Network. Give us a call, 855-969-7268. We'd like to hear from you. Also, you can reach me if you have a question that you want answered on another show. Email me. It's Sykes@sykesaccounting.com. Now, as you know, our show is about helping you, the business person, or someone thinking about starting a business, grow your business, look out for what government is up to, and so on. So in that vein, I have someone here who will help you in a financial kind of arena. And his name is Mr. Richard Magdaleno. Richard?
Anthony, thank you.
Okay, now, because the financial arena is such an interesting arena, I need to read this verbatim before we get started. So today we have Mr. Richard Magdaleno from Magdaleno Financial Services as our guest. He is a local certified financial planner, practitioner offering securities through GWN Securities, Inc., and investment advisory services through Latitude Advisors, LLC. So we've come a long way from just this guy is a CFP. But anyway, again, welcome, Richard.
Thank you.
And tell us about yourself. Tell us how you got from where you are or where you were to where you are.
Well, it's an interesting journey for me. Actually, I ended up working my way through college, and I got an engineering degree. Back in the day, aerospace and defense contracts were very popular in the area,
Okay.
and that's what I wanted to do.
Talk a little more.
Little more.
There. Yeah.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, you got to
from
talk right into the mic there. It's
Okay.
just like the SEC. They require you to be right on top of it.
Okay.
Let me kind of pull that over. There you
All right. Tell I'm a novice.
go.
Okay, let me take it from the top.
Okay.
I started off, grew up here in Southern California. I worked my way through school at a local university, Cal State Long Beach, for all you 49ers out there. And I got an engineering degree. At the time, back in the day, a lot of aerospace companies, a lot of defense contracts in the area. And that was the area I wanted to work in. And it was a great time. Over the years, if you look at your history, things changed. Those companies downsized, and people moved on to other different careers. I became what was called a pre-sales engineer, and I represented a fair number of different companies that were in the internet space. And that was a great time until around the 2000 time frame. And at that time, I was very fortunate, and knock on wood, I had some stock options and the like, and I decided that I needed to do some research. Typical engineers don't take people's words for anything. They need to figure it out for themselves because they can. I was no different. And I went and learned about all the things that I do today professionally, about asset allocation, diversification, leveraging using insurance products, the whole gamut. And I realized that I found it quite interesting. I thought that this is another area where I could solve problems. And that's what I've been doing my entire professional career, just in a different arena and a different tool set. So it was a real natural transition and fit for me. And then I finally dove in all the way in the 2003 timeframe, and I've done it professionally since then.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
Well, there's several ways. I have a website, www.magdalenofinancial.com. My last name is spelled Magdaleno. They can go on Facebook. I have a Facebook page also. It's Magdaleno Financial. And they can also look for me on LinkedIn under Richard Magdaleno. So a fair number of ways to get a hold of me. In addition to the old dial a phone number, which is 949-200-7559.
Okay. One of the things that people always find to me, and when they talk to me, because I'm an enrolled agent and I put EA after my name sometimes, and they ask, well, what is that? What does that mean? So I saw, after your name, CFP. So let's start with that one.
Okay. It's very confusing in the marketplace from a consumer perspective. You see a lot of advisors. Some will call themselves financial advisors, financial consultants. The soup, vegetable, I mean, the letter soup goes on and on. So it doesn't surprise me that people are not aware of what the CFP means. But with regards to working with clients and advising them, I personally feel that this is the gold standard designation because of the focus and the relationship that you establish with a client, whether they're a business client or an individual. But just to make sure that I cover all the bases on this, I'm going to read this verbatim from what I got from the CFP board's website so I don't miss anything. Okay, a certified financial planner professional, better known as a CFP practitioner, is a financial professional who meets the requirements established by the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards Incorporated. While others may call themselves financial planners, only those who demonstrate the requisite experience, education, and ethical standards are awarded the CFP marks. In order to obtain the CFP mark, the following are the minimum requirements. Number one, they must hold a bachelor's degree from an accredited university, college or university. They must complete a comprehensive financial planning curriculum approved by the CFP board. Now, there are various organizations that can do that. I know here locally, UC Irvine has a very good program that I'm aware of. I did my curriculum activity through the American College, but there are lots of different ways that someone can get into this arena. The next step is that they must pass a comprehensive two-day, 10-hour examination. And I can tell you, Anthony, I went through that thing, and it was pretty tough on me. By the second day, your brain is just turning to mush, and they're hammering you with some pretty significant questions and case design. So that's a very significant step.
Wow.
And I might add that of all the list of requirements that people have to achieve so they can just take the exam, a large number, I'd say about 55%, will fail that exam. So it's a tough one.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So then the other couple of criteria you need is that you have to have at least 3 years of experience advising clients professionally on the financial planning process. The process basically is that you can establish a rapport with the client, that you can establish the information that they're looking for, design a case and solution for them, monitor it, and keep an ongoing dialogue. It's a long, drawn-out 9-step process, but one that is not easy to achieve and is not something you do overnight. So that's a reason why they have that as one of the major criteria to be a CFP. In addition, you also have to pass a professional fitness standards and background check. You might claim that you've worked 3 years for somebody, but are they a legitimate firm? Have you done the requisite kind of experience working there, or were you just filing documents in a filing cabinet? So they really check your background to see if you're actually qualified and capable to do these activities. Next, you also have to agree to abide to a strict code of professional conduct known as the CFP Board's Code of Ethics and Professional Responsibility. That's just to get the award of the marks. Okay. But then once you're appointed, then the CFP practitioner must also complete 30 hours of continuing education every 2 years to maintain the certification, and 2 of those hours have to be an approved course from the CFP Board of Standards dealing with ethics.
Wow.
And that's on top of everything else that you might do if you're an insurance, able to do insurance products, much like I am. The state requires you to do a fair number of coursework to maintain those. You have to do things through FINRA every couple of years to be tested again for the securities licenses. And there's quite a lot of book learning to do what I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm almost afraid to ask you what are the other initials CHFC stand for?
That's a Chartered Financial Consultant. That's awarded from the American College. I'd like to think of it as kind of like going a couple of courses beyond the CFP designation, and it too has its own requirements to maintain that designation as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of services do you offer?
Well, my company's tagline is improving outcomes through prudent planning. So hopefully people get a sense of what it is that I do from that. But basically, think of me as a tailor with regards to your finances. What I do is going to be different depending on the circumstances that I encounter with my client. Everybody's different as far as the goals they're trying to achieve, how much risk they're willing to accept. Some people are much more risk averse than others, and others are willing to take a significant amount of risk for that huge potential return. It's not for me to judge, it's to create a solution that they are comfortable with, and they're always in the driver's seat. They always tell me what it is that I should be trying to achieve for them, and I will do so to the best of my abilities, so long as it's legal, as long as it's ethical, and it makes sense from a tax perspective.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I do estate planning, retirement planning, wealth management, and I like to emphasize with regards to estate planning that I am not an attorney. For estate planning to estate planners that need a will or a trust or more complicated documents, buy-sell agreements, those kinds of things, they have to be done by an attorney who's licensed to practice in the state that you're in.
Okay, all right, that's a lot. Well, where we're at, we're coming up pretty close to the break, so let's tell people how they can reach you again.
Okay, my cell number, or my office number is 949-200-7559. My website is www.magdalenofinancial.com, or they can go through Facebook and go to Magdalena Financial on there as well.
Okay, thank you. We still got 30 seconds left, and that's good because you're on the Rant Radio Network. I'm Anthony Sykes, and please give us a call at 855-969-7268 because we'd like to hear from you. If you have a question you want me to answer for next week, asykes@sykesaccounting.com. And we're waiting for your call, so we'll see you right after the break. Thank you. You're listening to the Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. We'll be right back.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español.
Ticketsurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. Ticketsurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4199.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Laza with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant.
With Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen, then you never know what's going to happen.
855-69 Three Guys. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
Welcome to Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. I am your host, Anthony Sykes. Welcome back to Rant Radio Network. I'm Anthony Sykes. Give us a call at 855-969-7268. We'd like to hear from you. And, of course, to my left here is Mr. Richard Magdaleno, a certified financial planner. I want to also make clear, this is a show that is designed for business, but we have individual people who don't have a business as listeners. And this is not to exclude you. A lot of the things that we have on this show, or we talk about on this show, is for everyone. And one of those is the services that Richard provides. He also has services that include individuals. We just talk about business because we have these time constraints. So with that in mind, Richard, let's talk about the business services and what should a business do to use your services, I guess.
Well, let me lay the foundation down for that before I give my answer. To the best of my knowledge, because small business owners are people too, individuals. And like any other person on the planet, doesn't matter what your income is, your gender, or age, or where you reside, you only get 24 hours in a day.
Okay.
And you have to divide that up in a way that is most suitable for your particular situation. If you're a business owner, you probably don't have a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
Depending on the maturity of your business or practice, you're probably putting in some double-digit hours daily and probably doing some activity on the weekends. Because you may also have a significant other, be it a spouse or children perhaps, you may want to go and visit them every now and then so they remember who daddy is. And that can be a challenge. I'm being flip about it here, but sometimes that really does happen. You work so hard and trying to get that business off the ground, especially the last couple of years have been pretty challenging, especially if you're starting a business. So that's true. Not that uncommon. I'm being flip about it, but people are putting in long hours. Then add to that mix that because we are humans again, you have this inconvenient need to sleep perhaps. So you take that out of the 24-hour days as well. Then if you do try to go to sleep, are you sleeping well? Are you concerned about making payroll? Are you concerned about the competition? Are you concerned about finding the next client? These are things that make people toss and turn at night, just to give a few high-level examples. Then add to that, and I think is probably one of the biggest problems, and I think the character Gordon Gekko from Wall Street outlined it pretty well, is that money doesn't sleep. I like to add to that it also shows no loyalty, no sympathy, and no regrets. If you're not riding shotgun over your assets, you may suffer some very negative consequences from that. Now, what are your alternatives to manage your finances? Well, you could be victim of, what I call victim, of some very slick marketing campaigns from these do-it-yourself platforms. But at the end of the day, they're just glorified tools. They really are. And like any tool, how well the job is done depends on two primary factors. One, the quality of the tool, but the other is the hand that wields the tool. How skilled are they at working with it? So those are big things. Do you have the acumen? Do you have the aptitude for managing your finances and can do the due diligence that's required to do it effectively? That's a big question that people have to ask themselves. Now, if any of these issues and concerns resonate with some of your viewers, then they are the types of individuals that can benefit from my services, because this is all that I do. This is what I dedicate myself to doing. And for example, many of my clients might require the use of some sort of a contract product in their personal finances or business. One of the things we kind of lose sight of, because we download everything nowadays and we have everything on electronic media or perhaps maybe a DVD, but when you're downloading something, this is what you're downloading. Back in the day, they would call this kind of a phone book size kind of document, and this is something that you would have to be reading and perusing through to understand before you determine whether it's a good investment for you. Are you really going to do that if you're running a business and reading that stuff, which is pretty doggone dry?
Okay. Wow. And I thought taxes were bad. Well, excuse me. What, in any business, in our business, in taxes, and I'm sure in your business, it's not so much the products are different, but it's the people who offer the products. So what makes you different from other financial services people?
Well, one of the things that I like to share and point out to those that might be considering using my services is the kind of business model that I operate under. Because I hold myself out to the public as a certified financial planner, I am voluntarily positioning myself to be a fiduciary when I work with my clients. That's not the case with every advisor that the average consumer may encounter. They operate under a suitability standard, which is significantly different. As a fiduciary, I have to put the client's interests ahead of my own when I'm making a specific recommendation. And when I worked for the bigger firms, because that's how I got cut my teeth into this business. I didn't just overnight say, I'm going to be a financial planner and start advising clients. I had to pay my due diligence. I had to go and be mentored and work with the big firms. But the challenge that I think that bigger organizations have, whether they're a wirehouse, a brokerage firm, an insurance company, if they have proprietary product, that it's difficult to act in the capacity of a fiduciary. It's like going to any other store, and if you have a specific product that you're creating and trying to sell, do you really make money promoting the other guy, your competition's product? That same kind of argument applies here. So I decided to go independent, and I can operate in a fiduciary capacity because I have no allegiance to any big corporate entity that I have to place X number of widgets to maintain that logo on my contract. So that's one distinction I like to have. The other is that for me personally, as I shared earlier, I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm kind of a meticulous, methodical kind of person. I'm a problem solver by nature. And my clients benefit from that kind of meticulousness, as it were. And I think there are other advisors that aren't quite at that level when working with their clients. And I think one thing that I'd like to add is that when you work with an advisor, there has to be a certain amount of chemistry as well. When I'm working with clients in the estate planning arena, if they happen to be Latino, which I happen to be as well, I think that's another differentiator as well. I think there's a certain segment of the population that I can address probably a little better than others who are not of that culture and understanding. So I think that's something additionally that I think separates me from others in the marketplace. But at the end of the day, I just really want to emphasize that I am a professional advisor, and I just happen to be Latino. I don't want to limit myself to just a particular market segment, but I think that also helps. So a couple of things I think that separate me.
Okay, thank you. Kind of jumping around here, what's a good prospect for you?
At this phase in my career, I tend to work more with business owners, small business owners, because the nature of the problems that they have, a little more complex. Some of the things we're dealing with would be succession planning. At some point, you may want to sell your business. Well, who's going to buy it? Is it going to be in the family member, well, there are going to be certain issues that have to be addressed there from a tax perspective and funding mechanisms for that. They also need to have the needs for retirement plans. If you want to keep quality people and employees, you need to have a decent benefits package, or else someone else is going to snatch them away. So that's another issue I can help business owners, and that's from a business perspective, and also on an individual side as well. Those are the kinds of things that I'm looking at. Estate planning is one that, on an individual side as well, that I'm personally passionate about. I had some very significant difficulties with the premature death of my father, and we struggled quite a bit trying to overcome that. And for that reason, I've always been very passionate with the estate planning process, because if I can help people avoid some of the challenges and issues that I went through, that makes for a pretty good day, and I do okay doing that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, that leads me to, do you always do a financial plan, or does sometimes it's better just to do something specific, like create a pension plan?
That's a big misconception that you have to do a comprehensive plan in every single case. That's not the case. It can be more of an a la carte kind of situation. Let's say you want somebody to manage your IRA, or you just got a lump sum from an inheritance and you would like some professional guidance doing that. We can do things of that nature. I would like to add, though, that if you are engaging the services of a professional advisor, if he recommends that you do a comprehensive plan, then maybe you should heed his advice. If you're just a W-2 employee and you don't have lots of different LLCs and multiple properties and complex situations, well, yeah, then it would not be a wise idea to invest in a comprehensive plan. But if you're a business owner and these things do apply, it would behoove you to look at things from a long-term projections and things of that nature that a comprehensive plan would provide.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a lot. So for a business owner who's out there, you might want to think about it. And actually, a lot of those things could be a tax deduction for your business. So you could actually have the government paying a portion of the money you set aside. Right. Before we run out of time, let's give them a phone number where they can reach you.
Okay. Again, my number is 949-200-7559. Once again, that's 949-200-7559.
Okay, thank you. We'll be right back after the break. You're listening to the Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Ticketsurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4-199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. Ticketsurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4-199.
Dirty Truth Radio Show, where we'll be talking about relationships,
marriage,
how to have sex,
dating,
first dating,
what not to do while dating.
Why middle-aged women are very easy.
Don't talk about sex on the first date.
Why shouldn't you?
Don't say X about on the first date.
Why religion should never be mentioned.
And demasculating.
And demasculating men.
Alpha male.
And alpha male. Why women love alpha males but won't admit it.
Yes, we do.
On Tuesdays from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. only on RantRadioNetwork.com.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
You're listening to What Honesty Feels Like with Christine Sawicki, that airs every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch us on rantradionnetwork.com. If you're one of the most successful people in the world, I want to talk to you. I want to know how you got there, where you're going, and who you're giving back to. So call me at 855-969-7268 and check in with me, the most successful people in the world.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 Three Guys. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
Welcome to Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. I am your host, Anthony Sykes. Welcome back, everyone. This is the RantRadioNetwork.com. I'm Anthony Sykes. To my left here is Miss Tricia Hugues.
Hello.
And give us a call, 855-969-7268. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to take a look at our website. I always invite you to sign up for our newsletter. We have lots of interesting tax tips as well as business tips. View our seminar section, because we have 2 good seminars coming up this Tuesday, August 27th. The Board of Equalization has its free business seminar. It's a great networking opportunity. It's going to be in West Covina. You need to RSVP. You can go to our website or to the Board of Equalization website. Coming up a little further into September, we're doing a seminar on how to create a business plan. If you have a business and that business you want to take to the next level, or you feel you need to set some goals to get money in, get a line of credit or a loan, this is the seminar for you. It's put on by TeleQ, and I need to remember how to tell you to get there. That's also on our seminar section. But to RSVP, call or email Ms. Sonia Gonzalez. The phone number is 323-838-8543, and she's at extension 477, or her email address at sgonzalez@teleq, TELACU.com. That's why I had to take out this business card because I sound funny online here. Anyway, Tricia, one of the interesting things that came out this past week, the state of California is living up to its reputation of being a bad place to have a business. And I hate to bash California because I've lived a long time here, but it kind of pisses me off.
Well, like last week, we started on that subject last week, and I love California as well. We actually talked about it after, how Texas is trying to take all the businesses from California, putting up billboards, just offering what I personally think states should be offering small businesses. They should be offering some kind of less tax and just keeping revenue here. You know, a lot of small businesses in California it's the backbone of California. And
that's true. I agree.
And I just, I know it's not a political show. I just wish that California would do more for small businesses and just business in general. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Well, what I was going to do was talk about what the state did and actually the court system. State of California a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, offered tax credits to certain industries, and if you invested or start a business in that industry, you would actually get that credit. The courts reversed that and said, nah, that's not legal. And so now the Franchise Tax Board is going after these small businesses for a total. They may, in total, may have to pay back $120 million in those tax breaks that they took based upon what the state said that they could take. Now that kind of smacks pretty bad, and individual businesses may have to pay back as much as $250,000. Nobody seems to care about that small business person. Now, we talked about where California was in terms of all the 50 states, and you have a copy over there, and I want you to tell me where you see California.
47. At the 47th, number 47 on the list. South Dakota being number 1, Texas being number 2. South Dakota, what kind of businesses, what are they?
Well, South Dakota is interesting. They have some oil, they have some mining. South Dakota is a friendly state in that there is not so much wide open, is that it has a booming economy. Their tax rate is not that high. Now, where I want you to look at, while South Dakota, is number 1 overall, also in that same column where it says cost of doing business, South Dakota is number 1. California is number 50. This thing that the courts have done sort of lets business know that's why we're number 50 out of 50 states for doing business. Now, California can claim a number 1, and this is what I talked about previously, and that's access to capital. We're number 1. So you can get money here, but you shouldn't do business here. That's what this overall ranking is talking about, and I give it back to you. There's a couple at that top there that you might want to look at, and we can kind of talk about.
Well, and what is quality of life?
Quality of life is, California is, like you said, you like it here. You love it here. It's a great place to be. Even by the beach, it's not that humid. You can go to Texas, and in Dallas, where I don't think there are very many oceans, it's humid. And so your quality of life in that terms is it can be very hot in the summer, hot and humid, and very cold in the winter. Sometimes, I know if you watch those football games like I do, there's snow on the roof of Texas Stadium. So in terms of quality of life, how's the weather treating you? How is, the parks and so on and everything else? So California does very well with that. But again, how well does that do if your business is being kind of kicked out of the state or taxed to death?
Well, 48 for technology and innovations. I think California is very, there's a lot of, what is that whole area near Santa Barbara, tech capital of the world at the moment?
Well, for technology, innovation, You're really talking about, Apple and Google and all that, while they're located here. And oddly enough,
which they don't have a great score.
Actually, let's see. New York is number 1, and I find that interesting, but maybe it is.
Well, New York also has a lot of international. Not that we don't, but New York's huge on international business.
That's true. So I always thought it would be someplace like Massachusetts or something like that that would be number 1 with MIT. But then we do have Cal Poly and
Caltech.
And Caltech.
Caltech is
rather Caltech.
Yeah, Caltech's a great school.
But hey, California is there, but on the things that matter, and that is the cost of doing business.
Right.
Also, the economy in general. California is number 35. Business friendliness. There's only 2 other states that beat out California. California is number 48. West Virginia is number 50. And that's kind of scary because that means they're chasing everybody out. In Mississippi, I can understand that because there's not a lot of business in Mississippi. That's one of the poorest states in the country.
Yeah, Alabama, then Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm hoping, and if you out there will write letters to our public officials and let them know that the Golden State is not as golden as it once was, and it should be, maybe then we can have it a little more business friendly, and more businesses, especially your business, if you have one, and if you are planning to start one, will grow a little bit more. I guess I should get off this soapbox before I find that we're taxed out here.
Well, one thing I want to reiterate was how is it that the courts can overrule something that was offered to small businesses? How do you get penalized for that? I don't understand how it's something that was offered. You took the credit. Now you have to pay it back. How safe, where do you draw the line? Where can they draw the line and say, you don't have to pay this back? Why? How do you fight it, so to
Well,
speak?
you can't unless you change the state constitution. Remember the checks and balances that we all learned in high school. The legislative branch makes a law, the executive branch signs it, and the judicial system says it is or is not constitutional.
Right.
So the only way to overrule that or override it is to change that the Constitution and actually write it in there that it can be, and if it's approved by, I think, is that 2/3 of the
House,
the
Senate,
representatives,
yeah,
then
the House.
it becomes a constitutional law, and the courts still may, but that's the only way I understand that it works, that it can be overwritten.
So how does it even become a creditor? How does it even become something if it's going to be shot down? How does it become how does it get passed, first of all, if it's not legal?
Well, it was, and apparently, and we're not giving everyone all the information because it's too much for the time that we have, but the state was trying to help small businesses and help California grow. And what they did was they offered tax credits. If you have a business that does this, and you can get a tax credit. But it was only certain industries, and I suspect that's why the court said that. It said that you should offer to all industries, not just these specific ones that you want to grow. And because of that, they said, no, it's all bad, and therefore the businesses who took that risk, who took the state up on its request, are now being punished. And the state could come back and say, well, we'll let it go, but they won't. We'll see you back on Rant Radio Network after the break. You're listening to the Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. We'll be right back.
DM Narc Radio Show is now airing on the Rant Radio Network. You've heard the three guys Rant refer to us as the Clam Chowder Power Hour. Now we get to bring our New England humor over to Los Angeles. We'll be airing Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern, and we'll cover everything from local to national politics and news. Guess what? We're uncensored too. I'm Dave. Join me and Nick Friday on the Rant Radio Network.
TheTicketSurgeon.com. Reach us at 855-WIN-4-199.
Did you get caught speeding, texting while driving, or doing anything else you weren't supposed to do?
Give us a call. Don't miss work. Don't lose out on the money. Don't get any more points. What about your insurance? Let us fight for you. TheTicketSurgeon.com at 855-WIN-4-199.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Welcome to Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. I am your host, Anthony Sykes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rant Radio Network. I'm Anthony Sykes. This is Tricia Hugues. We're here to take your calls, 855-969-7268. Join us on the show. We're live and want to know what you think. Also, please visit the website, www.sykesaccounting.com. I invite you to sign up for our newsletter. It has a lot of interesting things. We put that out once a month, sometimes twice a month if we get more information. And it's designed for individual and businesses. We invite you to take a look at our seminar section. There's 2 seminars coming up. One this Tuesday, August the 27th, the Board of Equalization in West Covina, that seminar and expo. There should be 300 to 400 people. It's a great networking opportunity. Plus, all the booths will be there from Franchise Tax Board, of course, Board of Equalization, the Small Business Administration, the Small Business Development Corporation, EDD, and Franchise Tax Board. Also, yours truly will have a booth there because we will be representing the Internal Revenue Service. I am also giving the presentation for the Internal Revenue Service on record keeping. So I hope you can make it.
And don't be discouraged if you've been in business for 4 years, 5 years, and you may know a lot of what is going to be talked about. There's always different things changing, and you may want your business to flourish. You might want to generate extra income or more income. And we do that. We work with certain banks that, when you go in and you reapply for another loan for your business and you get turned down, we'll work with you and we'll get you to a point where it may possibly be you may possibly be able to qualify for a loan. We can help you get all your finances intact when it comes to your taxes and just creating a strategy for you. We have a financial analyzer that can compare your industry with other industries and show where you need to be, what other businesses in your industry are doing, look like, what their revenue is, and what you can do to get there. We can just help you overall.
Okay, all right. We get a lot of newsletters, or I get a lot of newsletters, I should say, from IRS. the Board of Equalization, and EDD and Franchise Tax Board. I probably get about each month probably in excess of 100 total from these guys. And we look through because some of it is of good information to you. And one of them that we want to talk about is the IRS. IRS is going through a lot of significant changes this year. One, you've heard about the controversies on the meetings and the costs that they've incurred on some of these, and we really don't know the full extent, and also them looking at conservative organizations and their applications for nonprofit status. The one thing the media does is give you one view, and is not our purview to try to round it out. It is ours to give you our opinion. But what's been happening this summer is IRS is they've taken off 2 days, 2 furlough days. Basically, that means the entire IRS system is closed and nothing is working. No phone calls, no offices, and so on. But they have managed to cut costs, and for the last couple times, they've averted not closing. One was July 22nd, I believe, and the other coming up is August 30th. Looks like they may be open. And what's your thoughts on those?
Well, does that mean that it's actually they're generating revenue? More people are paying their taxes. Taxes are being paid. That they don't have to take a cut.
Well, it's not that. A little more complicated than that. What they do every year.
And the only reason I ask that is because that's how the states work. That's how the state of California has worked. Is they have given furloughs to a lot of state employees because just to save cost itself, right?
Right. So. No, it's similar. However, the IRS gets a budget. The federal budget ends, or federal year ends September 30th. And personally, I think we're going to have a lot of interesting things happen. I'm hoping they don't, because the entire government may shut down. But to a little more specific, IRS has this set budget, and in that budget, they didn't have the funds to pay for those salaries. Normally, the government would move over some money,
right.
And it said, no, we're not going to give you any more than what you have, and you have to make do. So it's sort of like you and I, we have we get this paycheck, and somewhere along the line, a couple dollars got out of there that we spent on something else, and now we have to pay for the light bill or the gas bill, and there's no money. So either we sit in the dark for a couple days, or we don't spend money on food or whatever, and that's apparently what IRS has done to find the money to pay those salaries for the last one and apparently for this one, which is August 30th. And I applaud that, but it is taking them into a different mindset. And that's kind of what I want to talk about is I read a notice, so to speak, or an email that I get from the tax advocate's office. Now, what the tax advocate is, that you may know, is that's sort of the person you call if you cannot get any kind of resolution with IRS. It's not that they have authority. They sort of try to reason with them. It's not. It was created by Congress. It's separate from the Internal Revenue Service, so they cannot force anything, but they can sort of say, hey, look, why don't you be a little easier on this person? Or, maybe you can interpret the law this way, and that's how they're doing, something to that effect. Sometimes they can be helpful. Sometimes they don't help very much. So it all depends on your particular case and what you're doing. But they made note that IRS is changing, that they're going to do a lot more notices in the computer, or sending out, and they're going to be a lot less receptive to, I guess, compromise.
Well, compromise to the taxpayer itself when you call in and have issues, or because we talked about last week, we touched how it's often takes a long time to get in contact with an IRS agent. You sit on hold at times. I mean, they're busy. They're in charge of every taxpayer that's calling in America. However, I personally think if they need to be furloughed, I mean, this is just my personal opinion, of course. Out of the 4 days out of the year, I think that's doable. I do. I actually do think it's doable. It's saving them money, and considering a lot of states that do furlough, it's employees get furloughed every Friday. Have been furloughed every Friday, and that to me is significant versus the 4 days out of the 365 days. That's just my take on it.
Okay.
Again, my opinion.
It's fine. I mean, and I understand that. And in dealing with those agencies, and I remember a couple years ago when they had these furloughs. One of the things you didn't want to do is deal with them on the day before furlough or the day after furlough, because they normally weren't very happy.
Right.
But it's the same thing with IRS. They have a charge of bringing in the income for the government.
Right.
And then they have this new and huge responsibility, and that is overseeing the Health Care Act, better known as Obamacare, which is coming up. And that's kind of overwhelming. That would take a few thousand people alone, if they could specialize in it, to make sure that every business has to deal with that. And
while on top of training as well, they're all going to have to train and learn the whole Obamacare, or the whole health issues. They're gonna have to train and know, because that they're gonna get millions of calls and people calling about healthcare issues and why certain money's being taken. It's all a cycle. It's just all a cycle. They're going to get calls. There's going to be a new tax law, and they'll get, I don't know.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the I guess the exciting part of it coming up, and the not so exciting part. Our industry is in for a kind of big change. I don't know, as we do future shows, we're going to talk about this. I'm looking to have guests who can explain some of it, but it's not going to get any better. This show, we spent a significant part talking about what California has done, because we happen to be in California. But in future shows, we're really going to be talking about what to expect from the federal government in terms of IRS. So we have here, before we sign off in the next few minutes, you're on the Rant Radio Network. We'd like to know what you think. Give us a call, send us an email. We'll see you on the next show. This is Anthony Sykes and Tricia Hugues. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Sykes Accounting and Consulting Radio Show. We'll be right back.